The Life Journey to Yi. Chapter 28. Balance, Good and Evil. Big Li took a pot of Brazilian turtles to set them free. He has been to many places to do this, including park pools and river ponds. He did not have any religious beliefs. He heard that setting lives free is a merit and that good deeds can bring blessings and keep bad lucks away. Big Li was my neighbor. He once asked me, "Is setting lives free a kind of good deed?" I told him, first, the act has historical limitations. Hundreds of years ago, there was no invasion of alien species. Setting lives free was a kind of good deed. At least, it was not harmful to the ecological balance. With the vicissitudes of the world, human beings' influence on the ecological system is different from before. To judge whether setting lives free is a good deed, you need to consider balance. Otherwise, goodwill may not lead to good deed. Secondly, people have Jue Shi limitations. If people are limited by Jue Shi and do not understand balance, the act of setting lives free aims at getting merits. This will be a selfish act with a cloak of good deeds. It is not only self-righteous, but also ignorant. Putting tropical fish in the northern river and flying the ornamental birds to the mountains are tantamount to killing. I asked Big Li, "Do you know how serious an ecological disaster your Brazilian turtles will cause?" Big Li was silent for a moment. "I just released them. I do not care about disaster thing the turtles may bring." Without understanding balance, people cannot distinguish the good and the evil. How can people achieve good results? This applies not only to the act of setting lives free, but also to many other things. If people can try to understand balance and avoid reckless acts, this will be merit. In the chapter of In Life, Balance Means to be Moderate, I talked about good and evil. I mentioned that the topic about good and evil is controversial because this topic may arouse moral association, and morality is often used by some people intentionally or unintentionally as a tool. To understand good and evil is a process of developing Shi. Although controversial, it should be discussed. Good and evil are not opposite to each other. What is good and what is evil? The act of maintaining balance is good. The act of driving to higher level balance is best. The ignorant and reckless act on balance is evil. Destroying balance deliberately is great evil. For example, an indoor cockroach reaches a person's foot. The person steps on it and kills it. Is this move good or evil? Some people say, to set free is good and to kill is evil. Some other people say, cockroaches are harmful insects. To kill the evil is good. To define whether the insects are harmful or not basing on people's benefits, is this good or evil? Good and evil is not equivalent to setting free and killing. It is not as simple as to kill the evil is good. They should be understood basing on a deep understanding of balance. All living creatures have their balance of the energy fields. The cockroach reaches the person's foot and has disturbed the person's energy field. The person steps on and kills it is the counter-reaction of the balance of the energy field, because the balance of the specific indoor environment is dominated by the person. Some people say that the cockroach is wronged because it is not aware of the balance in the room. However, balance is like this, and counter-reaction is the same. In fact, aren't the sentient beings like the cockroach? In nature, when someone destroys the environment and feels that man can conquer the nature. In society, when some arrogant and domineering people override the rules, the counter-reaction will come. Although people cannot see, the foot stepping down. Karma type of exaltation and intimidation is not very meaningful because people will come up with more countermeasures against the variety of intimidations. In the chapter of feeling, I mentioned that life is a process of experiencing feelings. Goodness is a feeling originated from spirituality. It is not because of fear of anything. If we love all creatures, we will know to cherish and to treat them kindly. What we can do is to pursue the best by achieving balance. Why do people seek goodness? Because a good environment can provide a good and balanced conditions for the physical body and can provide a balanced energy field for the Yi body. To balance is good, and balance is the result. To understand good and evil, we also need to identify foolish goodness and pretended goodness. Do not judge good and evil following others. Do not discredit people's reputation following others. We should think and understand what we see. Then we will become wiser. Out of goodwill, I set myself a principle in the past. That is, try not to influence people who have nothing to do with me, as everything has its own balance. Every person is flowing in the riverbed of the destiny. Let it be, and let nature take its course. However, when I reflect the principle now, I wonder whether I am being too rigid. Some encounter is destined, like the one between little tiger and me. This reflection also reminds me of night wind bell. When the leaves are fluttering, the trees are swaying, and the wind bell at the window rings, you know that wind is coming. But at night, when you cannot see the leaves fluttering and trees swaying, but the wind bell still rings, do you still think that it is wind that blows?